we bring into the community and all sorts of different events throughout the year. On our Tech Hub website, you'll be able to see everything from happy hours to lunch and learns to peer group meetings. If people are interested in becoming a member of Tech Hub, all of the information's there as well. So there's a lot of really wonderful perks to becoming a member organization, and there is also the ability to become a member as well individually. But for the sake of time, because we have an incredible speaker today. So Marcelo is not only incredibly accomplished and just extraordinary, he's just a wonderful person to even just have a conversation with. But Marcelo, amongst many things, is the CEO and founder of 4Geeks Academy. So it is a boot camp here. Well, there is a presence here in South Florida, of course, but it's also international. So they've even expanded into Europe and throughout. So 4Geeks, I'm always just incredibly impressed with the programming that they do, the scholarships that they provide, the coursework that they do as well. So I get the pleasure of working really closely with Alyssa from Marcelo's team, and she's wonderful. So this just a little snippet, hopefully, Marcelo, that you'll be able to give us a full rundown of your background before launching in to such a neat presentation today. For those of you that are looking to transition into a tech career, a lot of people don't know how to even start. And so bringing in an expert like Marcelo is the perfect way to help you navigate towards your next part in a tech career. So Marcelo, I'll allow you to take it away.
Thank you, Ashton. That's really nice of you, by the way. I've never been introduced like that. Nice to meet you all. I'm Marcelo Ricciano, one of the co-founders for Geeks Academy, a coding school that we have launched in Miami in 2015. Um, and since then, we have opened locations in, well, nationwide in the US, but also in South and in Latin America and Europe. And when I was thinking about the conversation that we're going to have today, first I wanted to highlight that this is a conversation, so feel free to share your insights or your questions or your any input or comment that you want to make. Um, you don't have to wait until the end to share that. I'll try to see the chat here. Yes, I have it here.
And also, Marcelo, just so you know, we'll be monitoring the chat. So if you would like, so that you're not having to worry about, distractions, we'll happily let you know that as well.
Cool. Oh, there's a typo here. You see, 400 or 400 graduates. It's actually 4,000. But anyway, why am I here? When I was thinking about having the conversation, I was like, normally, what I normally encounter in South Florida, where I live. Well, I actually live in Orlando now, but pretty much it's the same behavior and the same performance in the whole state. Um, when I'm meeting someone that is trying to get in the field, either is trying to get in the field and trying to get an education or a skill set in the field, or is looking for a job after going through a college degree or a boot camp, or is a witness of the noise that we have been creating in South Florida recently in the last few years about the tech boom that we're experiencing here. Um, so there is a lot of tech noise in the region. Pretty much that happened after COVID, um, because of the way that the city and the state reacted to COVID, but also because of the weather. It was easier to be outside, and Florida is cool, and it's really convenient travel wise, and well, there are many different factors that have been contributing to that. Politics as well, they have been open to receiving funding and opportunities, and then a few different companies and major companies decided to open their launch their headquarters here, or establish their headquarters here. So the the need for talented people in technology has been increasing in the region. Um, that, and there is something against the whole noise created. The pricing and the cost of living in the region also increased, which has made the whole conversation even more important because if you get in, if you are normally in the traditional kind of jobs, normally Miami has been recognized as a city where tourism, hospitality, um, and plenty of different jobs has been created and available for everyone. It's a welcoming city. We welcome everyone here, um, not just in Miami, but in the region. I mean, the whole South Florida. Um, Transitioning to tech is becoming even more relevant because you need a higher income, because you need to work remote, because you don't want to commute because it takes longer. Um, so every single time we're receiving more and more applications towards those that are willing to belong or to become or to get a skill set related to technology, and that's pretty much the reason why I'm here, to address that and how we have been doing it, and also why we have been somehow successful in the product delivery and the impact that we have created in the community is because we're pretty much taking care of the situation of the end goal. Someone that wants to join or become a relevant within the tech field can do it with free gigs in different programs. Not every program. We only have 3 programs, but in those 3 at least, we take care of the end goal. That is not just getting the skill, but actually getting a job at the end. So this conversation is how to transition or how to enter the tech field and how to launch your career in the tech field. And I'm going to try to answer that question. So, what's the problem here? The problem, and this is a good problem that we're having, is that there is more job openings in the market than people with the skill set to fulfill those jobs. That doesn't mean that the pathway of becoming a software developer, a data scientist, or an AI engineer, or a cybersecurity specialist is easy. It's not easy to become one of those, but it's not easy to get a job as a junior specialist afterwards. That doesn't mean that it's impossible, and that doesn't mean that it's easier any other way or in any other field. What I believe and what I have seen and what I can testify about is that the this is the best way for you to get the job that you want to belong to an industry that it's growing, that has a sense of building the present and the future, that will give you the opportunity to increase your income over the years, and that it gives you freedom because you can also do this from wherever. It doesn't matter if you live around, if you live outside, if you live overseas. You can always be a data scientist. By the way, I graduated as a lawyer, so I know what I'm telling you. I graduated as a lawyer in Venezuela, so for me to become a lawyer elsewhere was pretty much impossible. So I transitioned into tech over 12, 10 years ago, 12 years, actually 15 years ago. Um, and my career approach totally changed because now I'm able to do whatever I want wherever I am. You're not attached to a particular place. So if you're a doctor, a surgeon, a lawyer, you can't be you can't exercise you can't perform as such in any other places. I have seen how many people have done the program in Latin America and moved to the US, or in the US and moved to Europe, or in Europe and moving to Asia. Like they don't care, you know. Um, and the and this data about the job openings is just in the US. In my experience, people that are really committed, people that are really putting the time, the work, um, they can really achieve a career within the field, even if no experience, no prior education you had before. Like even for those that are completely new, transitioning from a completely different field, you can actually make it, because it's not about how hard or how complex it is to become one of those um, um, to become one of those data scientists or coders or developers. Getting the skills is actually the easiest part. The hard part is to be persistent, and that's what I'm trying to say here. The hard part is to be committed. The hard part is to stay relevant. The hard part is to combine everything that you're going through in your life, because normally people doing this, I'm speaking in general terms, um, people doing this are those who already have grown-ups, pretty much. So you are in your late 20s, 30s, and you want to transition from one job to another. You want to have something stable. You want to have something that it gives you the opportunity to increase your income, to provide to your family, to move into different places, to transition from one field to another. Um, so there's something going, at least something really important going on, or either you're taking care of your family, or you have a full-time job, or you have you're going to college. So the doing the transition, and taking the leap of transition your life and your career into something new can't be something that you have to do exclusively and extremely immersed, because you need to pay the bills, because you need to take care of your family, because you need your life to still happen in the meantime. Um, so if you want to combine the whole thing, if you want to make it till the end and complete your education and your skill, and get the skills, but also keep your life in order to pay the bills and take care of your family, you need to be extremely focused, um, relentless and resilient, and committed to the end goal, because that's what's hard. It's not hard to learn JavaScript. It's not hard to learn how to build an API, or how to connect and use pandas, or how to build a firewall for the cybersecurity application that you're building. That's not hard. We're gonna help you out. Us or anyone can help you out in that it's or has been doing this for a while and has some kind of credibility in the market, provided by other students, of course. Um, what it's really what it's tricky, and the question that you have to pretty much ask yourself is, can I do this transition and enter the tech field at the same time that I'm taking care of whatever your situation is? um, because that's when frustration comes, and that's when you start to have double thoughts about the decision that you're making, and that's when you get tired, and that's when you get um, down somehow. When things are not going your way at the same time, because you are too stressed, or because there's not enough time in the day to complete the whole thing. What I can tell from the for gig side is that whatever we have been building, and every single piece of the programs that we have, has been taking into consideration those factors. So we are making sure that you can make it happen. Um, and if we were able to do it, probably you can also do it. Either you do it with us, or you do it with somebody else, or whatever. Maybe you're gonna do it by yourself. I've met many people saying, you know what, I'm not doing a bootcamp because the content and everything is already for free in the internet, which is true. You shouldn't join. This is my take. You shouldn't join a bootcamp because of the content, and you shouldn't join a college because of the projects, and you shouldn't join a formal educational system because of if you think that the content is already free and it's only about you being able to grasp it on your own. That's not about it. If you want to go to college, but you're not gonna become a software engineer out of college, to be honest. Probably, maybe you will, but in in, in general, people taking a computer science degree in an average college, a good one, normal one, they get they learn a bunch of stuff, but maybe not really practical skills. If you go to a if you go to college, you're doing it because you want to get a degree, because you want to have the network, because you want to have experience, because you want to learn and have knowledge about different disciplines, which is true. Those are the reasons why. If you want to join a bootcamp, it's because you're not. It's not about the network within the class, but it's a network of the institution. Um, and it's not about how much knowledge you're gonna collect in different disciplines. You're gonna become a developer, you're gonna become a machine learning specialist, or you're gonna become an AI engineer. You're gonna become something with a skill set in a short, immersive kind of approach. Um, and the framework that we provide, and the discipline of having everything structured in a way, and the instructors being there for you in a way. But of course, you can do this on your own, or you can do this with I don't know, free tools. But if you really wanna do this, if you really wanna transition into tech, there is multiple choices, multiple avenues that you can take. And there's nothing wrong about trying a few of them. There's nothing wrong about even um, failing in choosing one of them. What it really matters is if you're sure, committed, and if you can be persistent about the decision, because then you're gonna make it. This is just a few examples that I have provided you. If you want to enter the tech field, you can be either a software engineer, you can be a data science and machine learning, you can be an AI engineer, you can be a cybersecurity specialist, or you can be something else. You can be a product manager, you can be a UI UX developer, you can be product developer, you can be a QA, or you can be in testing, or you can be um, an architect, or you can be an architect in computer, in software, I mean, in technology. The ones that provide the build, when you're building up an application or a website, you have to draw the whole system beforehand, before starting to actually develop it, because you need to understand what it is that you're building in a really well explained and simple manner, and connecting every single dot so it makes sense whatever the whole team is building. Or you can be the one that is creating the documentation. There's plenty of different fields. There's even the basic stuff, the guys or the ladies that write the HTML and CSS code at the beginning, and maintain and provide maintenance to the platforms. There's different roads for that. Depending on the choice that you're making, the income will change probably, the amount of openings will change, but what it's really sure is that you're gonna find a market that is willing to give you an opportunity for that. if so, so far we have covered why am I here, and why different technology institutions are here providing programs and avenues for you to get that skills. Again, it's about you getting the skills. That's the main goal, for you to get the skills, and then how you showcase those skills. How do you land your first job, if that's what you're. Sometimes I don't know if a few of you are here just because you're transitioning from the first or second job to a different one. But if you're looking for your first job or your second one, so you're still in a junior one, sorry. There's a few things that I can recommend for you to take into consideration. So, in my experience, the resume is the most basic asset that you should have in being built in a decent, straightforward manner. But it's not important, even if it's the best resume that you can have. That's only like 5% of the equation. What people are, and recruiters and organizations and employers are looking for, is to validate your experience, to see your portfolio, to see your projects, to see and validate your skills. We wanna make sure that you have the skills needed for the job.
Excuse me, Marcelo. Excuse me. Can you talk more into the microphone? I'm really having a hard time hearing you.
Yes, of course.
Oh, thank you so much.
Of course. I'm sorry for that. So if you're thinking about getting a new job in the field, I'm trying to go back 1 minute ago when I had a trouble with the microphone. What you really need to know and what you really need to pay attention to is to the projects, because projects and portfolio are the best way for you to showcase your experience and your skills. Employers and different organizations and people looking for talent, what they really need to see, what they really need to understand is how skillful you are. And the only way to provide with an answer to that is not the resume. The resume is only telling a corner of the story. It's only words telling something, but that's not the storytelling that you need to give. You need to take care into consideration multiple different ways to provide the employer the chance to understand that you have the skills. So my recommendation is to screenshot your projects, to record yourself when you're coding, to promote your projects and your portfolio on the internet and social media, to work on your portfolio on how to gather the projects and how to build the projects in a way that people can understand that you have the skills, to work on your GitHub, to work on your LinkedIn, to send emails when you find an opportunity. Let's say that you're finding opportunities and job openings is not hard. You go to any of the marketplaces and you put software developer, you're gonna find hundreds of them. Then you start filtering about experience, years of experience, skill set, and then you see a few of them, and then you apply. That's for me the worst way to apply for something, because just like you, there's over hundreds of other people are doing pretty much the same. So how can you stand out? My recommendation is for you to see, okay, who's hiring? Um, Ashton Adler from South Florida Tech Hub is hiring. So I will send an email to Ashton saying, hey, Ashton, I see that you're looking for a web developer for your website. I've seen that the website is being built in Python and JavaScript. I have experience here. I noticed that you have a bug here. I noticed that you have missing sections on the website here. I'm able to provide you with my time and skill set to help you build whatever you need. And talk about the bugs, talk about the opportunities, talk about the sections that you're missing, talk about the skills that you have to complete that. And when you address someone like that, that's really cool. Every time that I'm hiring someone or we are hiring someone, even before launching opening the job opportunity in one of those platforms, Indeed, Dice or Glass or whatever, we normally try to see who has applied through the form, who has sent the email before, who's actually telling us something about the company or about the projects or about the website or about anything that we have. So we see them before. First, because it's cheaper, to be honest. B, because it looks, you can tell that they're extremely interested in you. They really want to, and they really want to get the opportunity to work with you. And three, because it tells you that they are proactive, interested, and committed into this. And those are skills that you can't validate on an interview. The interview is like the final step. Just getting the interview is way harder than before. And when you land the interview, if this is your first job, you have to practice several times before them. There are different ways to have a mock interview for a job opening without the first tech interview being the only one that you have had before. So whenever you're applying for a job, you should ask your friends, your family, your bootcamp, your college, your instructor to have a tech or mock interview with you and get and put you in a place where you can answer the questions, get confident about it, and provide with a reasoning for every question that they have and think about different questions that they might have. And you should share with your network the opportunities that you're invited to apply or the interviews that you're being asked to attend, because they might know something about that and they might give you an input about that. So you have to be really prepared and you have to understand that what they're trying to see is the skills, not only the hard one, by the way. When you are in the interview, they want to validate your hard skills, but also your soft skills. If you're a good match for their company, um, they wanna validate if you are a team worker, if you have collaborated before, if you are good at writing code and also reviewing code, if you are good in Python and also other frameworks. So you have to understand what they're looking for in order to come prepared for that. Recently, I saw one of our alumni. He completed a program in data science and machine learning, and he was reluctant to apply for a new job. And I knew from the very beginning when he started the program that he was an extremely good candidate. So I had no concerns about his future in terms of a job opportunity. However, he took the program, he graduated in a great manner. He completed every single project. He had experience before in technology, and then it was like, yeah, let's like the whole team was like, okay, let's start the job hunt. And he was like, no, I'm not doing this right now. Do you have a job right now? No, I don't have a job. So what are you doing? I'm gonna keep on building my portfolio, and I'm gonna start searching for the kind of opportunities that I want to get. And whenever I feel ready and prepared for that, and whenever I see something that really motivates me, I'm gonna apply to it. So weeks were gone and went by, and we were like getting anxious about it. And we were like kind of concerned because it was already 5, 6 months without him starting the job application process. And then suddenly, one day, he sent an email. He said, "Okay, I'm ready. Let's start together." So he started to find job opportunities. 1 week later, he was offered a job because he was building his road in the meantime. He was making sure that the job opportunity that he was applying for was the one that he wanted, and it took him less than a week to land the job. He sent an email, he provided input, he showcased a demo of whatever he wanted to build for that company. He sent out that, and they were absolutely in love with him before even giving him the interview. Um, and of course, we're talking about the successful cases, right? So we can also talk about the people that haven't made it yet. And normally, the case is that when eh, you have to see the whole picture. So those who are still looking for a job are those that probably didn't complete all the projects in the program. They haven't paid attention to the whole thing in terms of learning in public and sharing in social media their portfolio, building a portfolio strong enough to showcase their skills, having a lame or kind of not in good shape GitHub account, applying only on Indeed and LinkedIn and Dice. If you have that approach, it will take longer and it will be extremely hard because you're competing with pretty much every single average person in the market. It's really hard to apply and fight for the same position that 1,000 people are also applying to. So you have to find your way in. We really promote the whole thing about learning public. So the very moment that you're starting your career and your learning process and your skills, start sharing every single piece, every single day of your journey with everyone that you know or anyone in the social media that you have. I'm not saying go to Instagram or TikTok to promote your projects, although you can do that. I'm sure it can work, but there are more fit kind of applications that you can use um, and different ways for you to share that. But the fact that you are thinking about building and learning something and completing projects in a public manner will tell a story that is extremely hard to compare to anyone else because everyone will know what's your journey, what you're dealing with, what kind of technologies you're learning, what kind of projects you're building and completing. They will know every single piece of your journey. So getting a job afterwards will be extremely easy to apply for because they're gonna see the whole story that you have. Recruiters and employers really look at your story when they wanna reach out. After the resume, they, they normally spend 2, 3 seconds per resume. Whenever they choose who are the people that they're going to contact, they're going to review your history. They're going to see your story. They're going to see how good you are. They're going to review your GitHub, your LinkedIn, your social networks. They're going to see that. So the more that you can showcase your skills, the better. we have a program that we call the Gig First process. That is, it contains different stages and different proceedings and different little items that you have to complete along the way. That we normally recommend everyone to follow. Out of the people that have completed the project and the Gig First process, they normally 86% of them get a job afterwards. So what I'm trying to say here is that when you have a framework, when you have a process well defined, and when you are really persistent again and committed to the process, then you're gonna make it. Because it's actually not hard to complete the whole thing if you're really stubborn about the idea of getting a job, and then you can have and fulfill the stages and the proceedings and the items and complete different process in order to achieve that goal. And this is something that I also wanted to share. I already said that the 86% of people getting a job after completing the whole process. But also we have noticed that those who graduate from a bootcamp like ours and get a job in the field, they normally see a 22% increase in the average income in the first year. And it's a 22% average on a yearly kind of growth performance. So you can expect your income to start to keep on growing after the first year. And that's also something really cool about technology, that first, in order to become a senior, you don't have to wait 20 years or 30 years like in law. As a lawyer, in order for you to become a senior lawyer, you have to wait 20, 30 years at least, and then being bald and fat and old will give you the proper insight for someone to rely on your recommendations and knowledge. That normally happens also in the medical industry or as a surgeon. I normally say this: if you go to the doctor and you have two different options, you have the guy that is 26 years old, really good shape and probably really talented, and then you have someone that is 50 years old. Normally you're gonna rely more on the 50 years old doctor. That's how it works. That's how it works, because we think, well, this guy or this lady has been going through a lot of things. They have more experience probably. On the contrary, when you are in the tech field and you have the very same kind of profile, the 50 years old and the 26 years old, you're gonna rely more on the 26 because that's more updated. That person is probably having more skills and has a better understanding of the process and your needs and whatever you're dealing with. So you're gonna rely on that. So seniority is being built faster and easier, and it's more accepted in this field. So becoming a senior and getting the paid of a senior and building your profile and your career in order to be a senior is easier also in technology. And that's pretty much it. I haven't checked the messaging and the chat, but if you want to share something or if you want to ask something, I'm happy to answer any of your questions.
Hey, thank you, Marcelo. I'm going to come back in here so that we can see everyone. So thank you so much for sharing that insight and that information as well. So in the chat, we do have not necessarily any questions, but anyone definitely feel free to put your questions in. However, there was a comment about someone that is interested in more about machine learning and how they can move into those positions with machine learning AI aspect of things. Do you have any particular, information along those lines or advice for someone that's looking to branch into kind of somewhat of a
I saw that Jack posted something about it. It looks like you're looking to get the skills pretty much. I do believe that going through a bootcamp is the best way for you to achieve that. Could be for gigs, of course, but you can choose from any of the 20 really good ones in the US. If you really wanna, one of the questions that you have to ask yourself is what kind of data like machine? Do you want to go deeper in machine learning and build models and work with LLMs and really put yourself into processing data and working with the data and transforming the data into actions? Or you want to be like the guy that is like a data analyst that only receive the data and make some decisions on some algorithms with the data? Because there are different roads to see it, or that you can take, depending on the choice that you make. If it's the second one, the more data processing kind of role, then a data analytics program will be a better fit for you. We don't have that, by the way. But if you are into building data and processing data and building models that can work with that data and go machine learning deep with that, that's the data science and machine learning program that we have. We're more geeky in that regard. We're really into coding and technology and building code and models than the data kind of analysis that also exists in the market. So getting the skills into that will be probably your best option right now. It looks like you have a background that could be combined to this experience. So you already have the data analytics experience, and the other good thing about this is that if you combine the whole thing, graduate as a data scientist and machine learning specialist, finding a job should be easier for you. And that's a really on-demand market, but it's only going to grow in the next few years.
Awesome. Thank you. Also too, Christine has a question in the chat as well. She wants to know if you have any advice for
becoming a technical product manager with certifications and courses and things along those lines.
Yeah, sure. So Christine, we don't have that problem, so my experience is probably limited in that regard, but I've seen a few major companies having courses and programs about that. Microsoft is one of them. I believe Amazon is another one. So getting a certificate, the certification business is a different one. So rely on who's certifying you. It's really important. You can go to a few universities, I believe, but also employers. So if you build it or if you go through the employer, it would be probably a wise decision. So search for them on a big name company and take that certification, and then try to see if they have openings in that one. So they're gonna appreciate that you were taking the program with them and then applying for that position, because probably you're gonna be trained with their skills and with their tools, and that'll make your life easier probably. And getting the certification is about who's giving you the certification. It's not just about what you learn, but who's teaching, who's the company behind that. That will tell a lot of it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, I'm seeing here. Are there other questions for Marcelo and around this conversation? Anything in particular, maybe about 4Geeks? Marcelo, could you touch on you mentioned some of the things that 4Geeks does and doesn't do. What are the main courses that are offered in 4Geeks in particular? I know that there's many, and we have several in South Florida. But yeah, so yeah, these are 3 areas of things that 4Geeks focuses on. And I think that's also important. And thank you, Marcelo, for pointing that out as well, is that boot camps offer different courses in different specialties depending on what you're looking for. So, that I think is something really important to take into consideration as well. But 4Geeks does an absolutely phenomenal job in these areas. And that was something that I learned by working with all sorts of different boot camps. I didn't realize that, there were different areas that you could go into, and that, I mean, it makes sense that not everyone offers the same things, but I think knowing that ahead of time, and to Marcelo's point as well about having a general idea of the direction that you want to go in, is also definitely helpful. So thank you for bringing the slide back up again.
Yeah, absolutely. And the software engineering one is no prior experience at all kind of approach. So if you enter in the field, that'll be a a great way in. And then the data science and machine learning is also for no experience. Like you don't have to be a data scientist before or being in data before, but it'll make your life easier for sure. And then the cybersecurity is also for people new in the industry. So it depends on what's the role that you wanna take. Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. Well, as we wait for, I don't know if other questions, if you guys want to put other questions in here, but I did.
I have another question, Ashton, actually. I do want to know, Marcelo, so I know in the tech industry, we are lacking a lot of talent just across the country, which obviously is why 4Geeks is so successful in trying to get, more talent educated. But the one community that I think often doesn't get enough attention, which is why one of the reasons Beth is with us today, is the disabilities community or those with disabilities. There's a huge percentage of them that are unemployed, and not enough programs and educators are offering programs so that they can actually join the classes as well. Does 4Geeks have anything for somebody that may be deaf or blind or have any sort of disability to be able to get educated as well?
Yeah. So for a few of them, not for not for the whole thing. Yeah, it's a concern, and we are aware of that. We have been building the technology and the programs considering things that we can solve. For example, if you're deaf, we can fix that. The program has everything in written, including the videos and tutorials and everything. You can read everything and you can write and type and learn without any problem. If you're blind, we haven't figured it out. It's kind of hard if it's remote as well. So just relying on listening and your keyboard, it's might be enough, but we haven't figured it out, to be honest.
Yeah.
If you're colorblind, that yes, the whole technology that we have is for colorblind people, so you can click on it and the colors will change. And then there are other disabilities that are not related to the learning process. Like if you're disabled in any other matter, you can also do this. Like the good thing about coding is it needs your brain and your time and your commitment, but not your muscles. Besides your brain, of course. But yeah.
Awesome, thank you. And Marcelo, I don't know if everybody else also, I'm struggling a little bit to hear you. I don't know if it's the microphone, but I had to turn my volume up really high.
I'm sorry.
Um,
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. And I see there is another question there in chat as well from, it looks like, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing this wrong, from Kumba. It says, she says, can you speak on the rise of ghost jobs in the tech market?
Yeah, that's actually something really hard happening right now. There's a lot of openings and people showcasing job opportunities that doesn't exist, and they kind of recruit people and approve people and offer packages to people, and then it's just full of lies and it's a big scam. We have been building a framework to determine and validate beforehand if someone is real or not, and we're applying that to our community. But we're noticing that, and it's increasing every single year. It's a real thing here in the U.S. at least. There was another question also about if AI is making it harder or easier for people to enter the tech field. My take is that it's making it easier. It will be easier. My take is that soon, at least for us, you're gonna graduate as a software developer and AI engineer. You no longer will be just a web developer. So you're gonna have a new skill set, a stronger skill set in the near future. I think that the tech industry will grow even more because of AI. I think that a few jobs are gonna be replaced, but not a software developer with the skills to build projects and algorithms and models and work with data and I don't think that's going anywhere down. Um, if you work in a blue collar job, a few of them might be at risk, like drivers, for example, might be at risk, or servers might be at risk. I don't know. I don't feel that software developers or people within the tech field requiring hard skills will be a danger. I don't feel that. I think that you're gonna learn, and you have to learn to work with AI in order to perform a good job. That's happening, and that will happen even more in the next few years.
Wonderful. I think that AI question is definitely going to come up more and more now as we're going here. And also too, my video is having a little bit of a difficulty, so I unspotlighted myself. If anyone sees that, we're seeing if it's gonna come back up here. But no, I think that that definitely is something that is going away and will continue to do so. Okay, let's see here. Are there others in the chat here? Okay, can you all hear me okay? Okay. Nikki, it says my Zoom is not responding, so I'm not able to click. I don't know if you can have the ability
What are
to.
you trying to do?
I'm having like the instead of having a cursor, it's doing like a spinning thing. It says my Zoom meeting's not responding. I'm not like allowed to click on anything. So you
Well,
may.
we can hear you okay.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. So hopefully if you guys leave me at any point. Okay, perfect. I think I'm back here. Okay. All right. Wonderful. Well, welcome. I'm glad that it all worked out as well. So, and you can see here in the chat that Marcelo put his information as well. So if there are no other questions, then I think the biggest thing is just a huge thank you to Marcelo and Beth for having this presentation available and accessible to everyone. And we're just very grateful to all of you as well that have joined us today. I did